Hello, my name's Mel, welcome to my world, and for those of you that are new to my channel, it's all about self-built DIY campervans just like this one and campervan related stuff. So if that's something that interests you, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. Now today's video I want to talk about cladding. As you can see, I'm a big fan of cladding. You wouldn't think it, would you? But I use it in the ceiling, my walls, I even make my doors out of cladding. But why the obsession with cladding? What's my fascination with cladding? Well, let's go over some good stuff and then we'll talk about the negative side, which I've only just realised. I didn't realise there was a negative side up until this morning, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about the cladding itself. Now this is spruce cladding, it's renewable, it's farmed, it's as environmentally friendly as any wood can possibly be, I guess. Yeah, I know wood isn't really environmentally friendly, but this is about as good as it gets. It is soft wood, it fast grows, it's fast growing as far as I'm aware, and it is renewable, so that's one big plus. It's good for the environment, well, not good for the environment, but it's as environmentally friendly as wood can be. Now the other big plus, especially for me, is a personal thing of mine. I've got this thing about VOCs. If you saw my video about paint, you'll know all about VOCs and the way I feel about that. So unlike plywood or chipboard, this contains no VOCs, because chipboard is impregnated with all sorts of bonding agents, and so is plywood, and then it's compressed together, and all those bonding agents contain VOCs that can take up to 20 years to off gas. So that's another big plus for this stuff. Now the other real good thing, of course, is the weight of it. It's so light, and the reason it's so light is because it's really thin. It's only 7.5mm thick, and I get asked that all the time, how thick is your cladding? So hopefully that answers that question. And the other good thing, and the list continues, it's easy to work with. It is a soft wood, it's easy to saw, and if you've got a partition or you're going to go down the side of your van, you can cut it and contour it really easily, just like the side of my cabinet right here. I'll spin you around and I'll show you my cabinet. So as you can see, because you can layer it up, it's really easy to follow the contours of your van, and anyone that's built a van will know that no van walls are straight. There's always a slight curve, and by doing it a little bit at a time, if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Just get another bit, cut another bit, and you can gradually build it up the side of your van. That's another really good thing. It's so easy to work with, and like I say, it's super lightweight, doesn't give off any nasty chemicals, not until you paint it, and you've got a choice on what you actually paint this stuff with. As you can see, you can use a multitude of colours. That's the other good thing about this. And if you was to damage one of these doors, like if I was to have a bit of an accident, I don't know, leave one of these doors open, hit my head and break it, rip it off or anything like that, simple to replace, so easy to work with. Like afterwards, after you've built your van, if you want to change something, it's easy to modify it. All you need is a bit of cladding and you can take this off. I can remake all these doors, no problem at all. So that's the real good side. Yeah, it's just a real good material to work with. I'm a big fan, you could probably tell. Now the downside, let's talk about the downside of this stuff, and I've only just really noticed this. I've noticed it before in the past, but not to the extent that it's happened in this van, and I think it may be because I've got a wood burner. My ceiling has dried out, and as it's dried out, it's starting to shrink. Now the cladding normally shrinks in the summer anyway, because I build my vans in the winter, and I've done this for a couple of years, actually more than a couple of years, quite a few years, so many in fact I've lost count. But I think I'm not 100% sure, it may be that this wasn't dried out properly, I don't know, but my wood burner has certainly dried my ceiling out a lot more than it normally would get dried out. And the reason I'll notice this is because of all these cracks that have appeared, and I'll bring up the back here because that's where the worst one is, and I'll show you the ceiling above my bed. But this is the crack I noticed this morning, and I thought to myself, my God, look at the size of that crack, my wood has shrunk. So yeah, not a nice thing to wake up to in the morning, but look at that, you can actually see where the wood has shrunk because I stained this cladding. And like I say, I don't know if that's happened because of the log burner, and this one crack comes all the way down here, the entire length of the ceiling of my van, all down one piece. So maybe these these panels, maybe they weren't dried out properly, I don't know. Now if I take you over to the other side, like further away from the wood burner, this is what normally happens. I get this sort of amount of shrinkage. This is normal, this is what I would expect. But not to the extent of this. This is definitely the worst I've ever seen it. Well, there you go, that's my job for the day. I'm going to re-stain my ceiling, well, down the cracks anyway, and then once that's dried out, I'm going to wait for it to thoroughly dry out. I'll probably light my log burner, get my diesel heater on, get it nice and warm in here, dry it out nice and thoroughly, and then I'm going to re-varnish it all, re-varnish the whole thing and re-seal it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, come the winter months it won't reabsorb any moisture out of the air and start to expand and start to ripple. But I guess only time will tell if that happens, because if this does start to expand again, it may start to go ripply. It might not re-slot itself together. So yeah, hopefully by re-varnishing it, give it a good couple of coats, it will seal it and stop that happening. But before I do any of that, the first thing I've got to do is take all the bedding off my bed, take my curtains down as well, because I don't want to risk getting stain on those, because I absolutely love these curtains. Right, so yeah, first thing, strip all my bed, take my curtains down, mask all this up, and then start staining. So yeah, it's probably going to take me the rest of the day to do that. Right, let's get into it. So right, all I'm doing, I've got my favourite brush and I'm gradually working it into the crack, just nice little short strokes, gently making sure it goes right deep into the crack, and then do this down its entire length until the entire length is covered. And once I've done the entire length of the crack, like that, I then get a piece of tissue and wipe off any excess, and in that way it should just blend in. Once that dries, it will fade and blend in with the rest of it. This one, just gently work it in, a few strokes. Gonna need to stroke it up and down the crack to work it in, and then before long we'll have the entire length covered, hopefully. There you go. I think that's going to look alright. So all I've got to do now is the entire length of the ceiling. So there you have it, they're the pros and cons of using cladding in your camper van. I think personally the pros far outweigh the cons. I think the only downside I can see of using cladding in your camper van is it tends to shrink a little bit, and it's not really a problem. As you can see, I've managed to rectify that. It looks fine now. So if you are going to use cladding in your camper van, maybe consider waiting a little while before you actually treat it. Give it time to dry out and shrink and bed in. Either that, or put it to one side when you first buy it and let it shrink and dry out before you actually physically use it. And when you buy your cladding, try buying the cladding that's in packets that are undamaged, because maybe when it leaves the processing plant it is actually dry. It's only when the packaging gets damaged that moisture gets in. You don't know whether that cladding's been set outside or in a damp warehouse waiting to be sold, so it could expand during that waiting period. I don't know, I'm just theorising this, but let me know what you think. Leave a comment below, tell me what you think, how you feel, what your pros and cons are. Let me know what your experiences are with using cladding in your camper van. I really appreciate it. Well, hopefully you found this video entertaining, mildly informative. Maybe you even learned something, I don't know. But either way, please do give me the thumbs up, and don't forget, if you are new to my channel, please do consider subscribing, and by subscribing to my channel you help me feed a cat, and I've got two and they're both hungry. Thanks for watching, ta-ra for now. Well, there you go, that's my job for the day, is to re-stain my crack. Woke up this morning, I was looking up at the ceiling and I thought, crikey, my wood has shrunk. So this is the part that I first noticed this morning when I woke up and I looked up and I could see this crack. When I woke up this morning, I looked up and I could see this big crack. And I thought, crikey, my wood shrunk.